It's the 7th of January, 2022, and my name is Eshkalar, and I'm an alcoholic. Among other things, boy, oh my gosh, if I stopped with being an alcoholic, at least you could hang with me, but no, I gotta have that Inca filtered skunk, and most men can't stand toe-to-toe with old Eshkalar when it comes to getting high, I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, if you'd like an example of how high you can get, I mean constructively high, performance enhancing high. Your old pal Eshkalar had, I think it was a half an ounce of hash one time, and he was eating hash, which is bad for you, using it like between a cheek and gum, and that's why he's missing teeth now. One of the reasons, and did that all day, smoked some weed, had a ball of hash there all day. Later that evening, started smoking some hash. Got pretty high. I smoked weed and smoked hash. And I was in a band, and we went to a gig, and somebody says, "Here, you can have this hit LSD." And I says, "Well, it's too powerful for me. I'm going to go play music." He goes, "Oh, here, just take half of it." Okay. So I took half that hit of LSD, and we started playing about 10 o'clock. I'm playing. I played harmonica and sang. I was the coolest guy in the world in my own head, but outside of my head, there was a variety of opinions. But so, around about midnight, I was thinking, I didn't even get off on that acid. And the hash is good, but I could be a little higher. And somebody says, "You know what, Bill? You might as well do the other half of that acid then." So I did the other half of stick acid there, tab. And somebody says, "Hey man, you want to snort a line of coke?" So I snorted a line of coke, and the first half of the hit of acid hit me right then. So I was high. I was high, just about high enough to see patterns. You guys, And I was feeling pretty damn good. I was on the hash already. So the edge, the razor blades on eyeballs edge of some LSD didn't touch me at all. I was so mellow. And I was enjoying the heck out of that feeling. A line of coke just kind of like picked me up out of the general background. So, I'm paying attention. Boy, yeah. Sat down and played some more. In my mind, that all went really well. Then about 2 in the morning, and I'm like starting to smooth down. And we're going to get ready. We're going to like pack everything away. Man, that second half of hit acid hit me. And I was high till I think 10 o'clock the next morning. Now that's high. That's not wasted. I never did any drinking, didn't do any smack, didn't eat any Quaaludes. I consider those to be hard drugs. Of course I consider. Nowadays I consider cocaine to be a hard drug too. But back then, hey, I wanted to try everything twice to make sure I didn't miss something the first time. So anyway, that's how high I could get without even drinking, dude. Wait, I wasn't even drinking. And I certainly would never smoke meth. And I certainly would never smoke crack because, damn, dude, if you have to be that high, then you don't want to be doing anything constructive. Driving heavy equipment, playing lead guitar in a band. I'm looking at you, Eric Clapton. Tell me I'm wrong. So anyway, so I could be high, all right? Your old pal Eshkalar has been so high. I was so high one time I drowned in an inch of water in my bathtub, face down. Couldn't move. Too lazy to move. I was like, I'm so high, I don't want to move. I drowned. Lucky I had Barizinar, which I don't have anymore. And he used to bring me back after that stuff. But I have died by misadventure, I don't know, 600 or 700 times over 1,200 years. And sometimes I did it because I was stupid. Sometimes other people did it because look, he doesn't get killed. Yes, I do. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Even if you got a ring that brings you back, that frickin' hurts. Leave me go. I just want to get high. I want to sit in a bar somewhere and get free drinks and get up in a microphone between acts, talk like this for a while and pretend I'm being funny and stuff. So, that's all I want. All Eshkalar ever wanted was a place where he could get free drinks. That's right. Now, everybody else in the world wants more than that. And isn't it funny? I don't even drink anymore. 1,200 years. I was drinking for about, I don't get 900 of them. And then I stopped drinking. Dang. So now several places I get free beers, but I don't drink them. It's unfair. It's just, oh man. It's just throwing me in that briar patch there. So, one of the reasons I believe in God. Oh, yeah. Proof. Synchronicity. Truth. Believe, my brothers and sisters. Believe. But you got to know the caveat. Whoever's telling you what it's all about probably doesn't know either. They're probably no smarter than you. They're not any more connected to heaven than you are. Or else people would be blowing up on the street from being prayed against, right? Yeah? How many people in the world do you think are praying against Vladimir Putin right now? Or Joe Biden? Or Donald Trump? Right? Or any even number of other, Boris Johnson, Mitterrand, or whoever it is in France, all those guys. There's people praying right now those guys will blow up on the street like scanners. Pop. But it ain't happening. So those people must not know the secret. Right? Or there is no secret. And there are ways that could be friendly to God, and there are ways that could be unfriendly to God. It's just a matter of perspective. And that's what my conversation is about today, as I was talking about getting high, is changing your perspective. First off, Wong Fei Hung and his shadowless kick. Wong Fei Hung and his shadowless punch. Wow, is that cool? What's that do? Punch right through your head and leave a hole? Well, when I was trained in Chardonnay, they taught me to throw a punch, basic punch. It's called a Rican. It comes off your hip. I'm not going to clench my fist or tighten my muscles or anything, or else I'll hurt myself. But it would come off your hip, and you would go whack, and you drive your hip into the punch, but you wouldn't move your shoulders. The plane of my shoulders is still flat. Bang. And I wouldn't be moving to hit the opponent at the end of my punch. I'd be moving to hit an opponent about here, where the end of my punch would be there. Follow through. That leaves a shadow. But if I were an advanced student and I threw a hammer fist or another kind of fist that instantly withdraws, there's no shadow. Shadowless punch, shadowless kick. Very easy to describe, and so easy for Hollywood and novelists and comic book artists to misinterpret because they didn't know. They want to sensationalize. They don't want to know. That would require effort on their part. They're too busy snorting more coke to want to spend effort on anything else. Ain't you, boys? Ain't you? Let me ask you about cocaine, you guys in Hollywood. Is it true or is it not true that there's only enough for me? Inquiring minds want to know. So anyway, what do you think, Alec? I think there was some of that involved too. So anyway, the shadowless kick and the shadowless punch were real. They were just interpreted by given flowery names by probably the uneducated, but it's a standard punch, standard fighting fist. If I was going to throw a back fist, I was just doing that. If I was going to throw a back fist, that would be a shadowless punch because I'm not going to go bang and leave it out there. That's like asking a guy, can you please break my arm for me? Ain't it? Yeah, it is. So a back fist is a shadowless fist. A punch, boom, that doesn't stay at its target is a shadowless punch. Pow! I'm using vertical recons because I don't want to do a lot of wrist work. Anyway, so those are real techniques. Now let's move to something that everybody knows is not a real technique. Anybody in the fighting arts knows that this is not true. Now if you're in fantasy world, you may believe in this. But if you're a fighting artist, you'll know this is untrue. The Denmark, the death touch of Kung Fu. I think it was Skeletor who said it best when he said, I'm into that shit. And truthfully, he would be. But it isn't true. Or is it? Well, damn it. Eshkalar is here about to burst your bubble. I gotta step back because it's messy. Yeah, of course it could be true. It ain't true the way Hollywood shows it. It ain't true the way people interpret it when they're going poo poo about it. But let's ask a physiologist, is there a way to apply minimum pressure to a human body unresisting? Because we're just taking the idea first, right? That will cause it pain, unconsciousness, uh, incapacitation, or death, or maiming. Any of those? Well, sure, we all know pain. You poke somebody in the eye. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that doesn't seem invasive because the Denmark isn't supposed to be like two fingers to the eyes. That's mean. But some kind of secret way or place or, you have the logos. You have the special knowledge that nobody else has. You're the Dillman. Oh, you learned your knowledge from the back of a comic book. Nobody else has this knowledge because they didn't have 10 cents. So that stuff is fake the way it's shown on Hollywood. But is it fake in theory? Absolutely not. As I said, ask a physiologist. Are there places you can tap, punch, rock, pinch the human body that'll cause it pain, suffering, incapacitation, unconsciousness, or death? Any of those? Of course there are. Many of them on the human body. You know how to apply them. And with minimal effort. It's easiest to do them with an unresisting opponent, which is what all those fake senseis are using. They're fighting unresisting opponents. Opponents that know how to fight. Opponents that know that he's going to touch me here and then I have to fall that way because if I don't, I'll fall on his leg like I did last time he got so mad. That's what it is. It's a show. It's a show that a con man uses because he's not smart enough to use his brains constructively. So he uses them destructively to destroy innocence. Not to nurture and educate innocence, but to destroy it. No one that's been through one of his courses will ever believe in anybody again. Not the same way, because look what happens. We learn. Personality is the scar tissue that grows over trauma. So, anyway, but a doctor could tell you, yeah, there's a place you could pinch. Go to MMA matches and you'll see a naked choke will knock a person out almost immediately. And you have to put a considerable amount of force in it, not because it takes that much force, but because the opponent's resisting. Just a point to make. So Din Mac, the idea of a blow or of a touch or of a certain way of applying pressure that will incapacitate, render unconscious, or kill a foe is not physically impossible. So for you guys that laugh at it, I laugh at it too, but I understand that it's physically possible. I'm not going to teach you how to use it because then I'd be showing bad judgment. A teacher should know each of his or her students. No teacher should teach a system that teaches students that he or she does not come into contact with and measure every day, because then that teacher would not have a sense of proportion for that student. Wait, I'm training a mass murderer. If I had been there on the spot, I would have noticed from the questions he asked. So, big schools, a waste, because the master cannot be there to teach the students. And the people he taught are interpreting it their own way, no matter how hard they try to do it his way. They can't help themselves, but modify the techniques. So eventually, if they come back to him, he'll say, this is wrong. Why are you teaching that? That's wrong. I didn't do this. They'll be like, yes, I thought you, yeah. Because each person, in turn, modifies a system to suit his own internal narrative. That literally made sense. I'm not asking you to examine it now, but think about it later, maybe. So there you go. Your Din Mok could be true. Your shadowless punch and kick are true. Now I'm going to move into the final realm. Mental effects that knock opponents over, kill opponents, render them unconscious from a distance. Like My Favorite Martian. And people fall down. Yeah. You don't know who My Favorite Martian is? That's okay. That means you've got a lot of future ahead of you, where you'll see how much better the millennials made of the world than the boomers did. Just like the boomers made the same mistakes their fathers made, you will make ours. Thank you. We don't feel as bad from hell watching you guys make the same boneheaded mistakes we did. So anyway, there's your secret arts. If it leaves the hand without an object, if there's no weapon, if there's no projectile, you can't affect somebody outside of your reach, except by invective. Ah, your mother wears combat boots. Yeah, that's because they're cheaper over here. Whatever. Your mother wears combat boots. Yeah, she's a combat veteran. I'm sorry. Thank her for her service. Ah, it's a tough world. So anyway, there's your lesson number 9. Your Den Mac is wrong. Because it could be. And your shadowless kick and shadowless punch are wrong. Because they aren't spectacular. They're just well-thrown techniques that somebody interpreted with a flowery phrase. Like that's never happened in the fighting arts before. Huh? All right. And also all mental attacks, all mental befuddlement, all that stuff is a bunch of bullshit. Now there are people that will say that a ki or a ki up, depending on who your trainer is capable of affecting opponents at a distance. And indeed it is. But if you are going up against an opponent of your school, it will absolutely not work. So it must have compliance on the part of the victim. Doesn't know about it, believes in it, like voodoo. Read about it in a book, saw it in a movie. But if you and I go at each other, we each key up, neither of us is going to shock the other. Ain't it the truth? Yeah, it is. And if you key up at me, and I'm used to key up, I'm going to know what it is. I'm going to be reacting already as you throw it. Same with you and me, because you're no dummy either, are you? I didn't think so. This is Eshkalar. Lesson 9 in Your Fighting Arts Are Wrong. For all the best reasons.